What is poppin', people? You got Jay Bear here bringing you all LTM week number 5 going up against Keegan and the Orlando Magic Guard. LTM, of course, the Low Tier Wi-Fi Draft League that has been going on for about a month and a half at this point. I just wanted to thank you all for watching and thank you all for the support in this season. Quick little spoiler warning in 3, 2, 1. So these past few weeks have not gone our way. We fall from 2-0 to 2-2, which means we kind of gave 2 of our 3 losses that were really budgeted for in the season, and we do not have much room to wiggle at this point. So we're going to need to lock in, especially for these last 5 weeks, and make sure that our season does not just end at the end of the regular season. And we've got a bit of a get-right game here going up against Keegan. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I just wanted to, first of all, ask if you've been enjoying the season to leave a like and subscribe. I've had a lot of fun playing some low-tier draft league, and it seems like a lot of you guys are enjoying it as well. So just ask if you want to make that little nod. It doesn't cost you anything, of course. And then shout outs, of course, to my guys Who, Pokey Clies. Thank you for the mock support and the prep support. The teams come together a lot easier thanks to them. And they've been a pleasure to work with so far this season. I'll continue to shout them out every single week because of how awesome they are. But Keegan has a bit of a Keegan team. I feel like those of you who perhaps watch a lot of Wi-Fi Draft League at the moment can see what I mean. But Keegan's team consists of Hisuian Gudra, Terra Sinister, that's his one and only Terra captain, the Paldean Aquatoros, Talonflame, Mudsdale, Munkidori, Frostlass, Dunsparce, Regirock, and Cutiefly. Right off the bat, I don't see Cutiefly coming. I don't think the webs are particularly good, and it's just a liability if I bring Hat, right? You just can't do that, so I don't think Cutiefly. So it's really a 9 Pokemon matchup, and from there, there's certainly Pokemon. I don't think Regirock has much of a niche here. It's usually, I feel like it loses to a lot of what my team does, so that brings it to 8 really viable Pokemon. Frostlass, okay. Here, I feel like it's kind of got the highest opportunity cost, but really, Gudra, Sinistra, Tauros, Talonflame, Mudsdale, Munkidori, and Dunsparce. I feel like he will bring 6 of those 7 and have to leave 1 at home. Of those droppable Pokemon, I feel like Dunsparce, doesn't necessarily add much. It can be a win con for him for sure. Gudra's is round 1 pick, but I feel like again, it doesn't necessarily add much. It just kind of exists for him. So that's definitely a droppable Pokemon in my eyes. I feel like Sinistra, it'll come. It's pretty necessary. Tauros, I think it's also a little bit droppable. It's a good way to punish Bisharp, which is something that he might want to do. But I feel like that's kind of the droppable Pokemon in my eyes. So what exactly do I foresee? I foresee some sort of bulky Gudra, maybe a setup Iron Defense set, maybe just an Assault Vest, a 4 attack set. But I feel like Dragon looks pretty solid into my team when you combine Dragon with the Steel for the Hatterene, and then with a Body Press for Bisharp. I think that's a pretty good loadout for him, and I think that can cause me some problems, especially if I let Mienshao go down too early. Sinistra has a bunch of different Terras that look valuable. So most of them have the issue of either not beating Bisharp or making him weaker to Gyarados or making him weaker to Raikou, or a combination of those. Fighting looks great for an offensive set because it kills Bisharp, but then you're dying to Gyarados if I happen to be Terraflying, and Terraflying does look really good into this matchup, admittedly. So that's something to consider on him. I do think fighting is probably the most annoying one to deal with for my build, but I feel like it takes a real man to run fighting, so we'll see if Keegan wants to do that. Tauros, I have a great check for it in Quillfish, and I have Gyarados also pretty good. It can of course pack Earthquake or Wild Charge, and it has coverage, but Quillfish should be able to just beat that Pokemon. Talonflame I think is important for Mienshao as a pivot. You're always 1 rock move away from dying, and then I have the combination of Colossal, Rhyperior, and Raikou to punish it, but I feel like you just really want that defensive profile of the Talonflame. Mudsdale looks good, most consistent rocker here. Can also be one of his better Mienshao checks. because it like will guaranteed take like anything from it, and plays very well with Talonflame in the sense that like the predictions become a lot more challenging. Munkidori is the most terrifying offensive Pokemon for me to deal with. I can always just Focus Blast, pop my Bisharp, and then outside of that, like my best real resist is like Dusknoir, so it'll be a bit challenging to deal with that guy. And then to Dunsparce, I think like a Calm Mind Rattled set is what gave me the most trouble in mocks. Just because I have a bunch of Intimidate on this team, and I have Dark moves on this team, and I have like U-Turn on this team, so it can be a bit scary if I don't play around it properly. But now we can get into the build, starting with this Terra Flying Gyarados, Heavy Duty Boots, Intimidate. Pretty standard Gyarados fanfare with Terra Blast, Earthquake, Dragon Dance, and Taunt. Taunt Dragon Dance lets me set up on Mudsdale. If it's not Stone Edge, lets me set up on Sinister that might be wanting to Strength Sap me or like Stun Spore me. And then Flying plus Ground is really, really good into his team. Obviously, Waterfall does miss out on like Regirock kills, but like Earthquake, the range is like pretty similar for that to not matter too much. Speed lets me outspeed Talon at +1, and then attack was I believe for a roll on Sinistra with like my +1 Gyarados, and then just dump the rest into HP. Pretty standard fanfare for a Gyarados that is Terra Flying. Up next, my Mienshao. This one is going to be my lead. I tested a bunch of lead Raikou in the mocks, but Mienshao got me out of some situations that Raikou was putting me into. So we've got protective pads here. We don't want to get like flame bodied by Talonflame, or like take Rocky Helmet Chip if like it really doesn't matter that much. Oop, I misspelled regenerator on the slide. Oops, oh well. Regenerator. But Stone Edge can pop Talonflame. Close combat does really good damage into his team. Grass Knot to maintain momentum. Or U-Turn to maintain momentum. And Grass Knot for one key calc. That would be close combat into Mudsdale. Follow it up with a Grass Knot. We will need a little bit of chip, but this should, like after a U-Turn, kill Fizdef Mudsdale, which is a super sick calc for us. And on like lead, we can just Grass Knot it twice. We should be 2 KOing the physically defensive Mudsdales that'll come for Mienshao. And Grass Knot also has some pretty favorable rolls onto the Aqua Tauros, and even like an Iron or like a defense boosted Regirock. Unfortunately, we did drop Knockoff. Knockoff is a pretty good click into something like Munkidori, but it's like very hard for me to really stay in on Munkidori and click Knockoff. Most of the times that I would want to click Knockoff, clicking U-Turn would just be better. And then our next Pokemon is the Bisharp. This is our specially defensive Bisharp for the combination of Munkidori and Sinistra. Obviously, if Sinistra is not Terra fighting, this is the best case scenario. If it is Terra fighting, then the Bisharp can't really check that. But it like for like a choiced Munkidori, it's very hard for it to lock Focus Blast, because you'll see on this build I also have Dusknoir. They kind of like are overlapping in the fact that they're checking those together. Bisharp also can be a decent switch into like Froslass, Regirock, or Dunsparce. Otherwise, it might be a liability. Throat Chop is the strong Dark Stab with Sucker Punch for the priority aspect of it. And then Sword Stance, if we can get some Sword Stance turns, we're in a pretty good spot. And then Brick Break is doing solid damage to the Dunsparce and Hisuian Gudra. It's not like for screens or anything. He doesn't really have a screens team. But yeah, this is our specially defensive Bisharp to pair with our specially defensive Dusknoir. These two are kind of going hand in hand and together checking Munkidori. This has got the Assault Vest Frisk, so we can get a little bit of item information on the Munkidori. For Keegan, I expect it's either going to be Boots or Choice Scarf, knowing the type of player that Keegan is. But then we got Poltergeist, Shadow Sneak, Brick Break, and Earthquake. Very, very specially defensive with the Assault Vest. But his Ghost resistances are pretty light on this draft, just being Dunsparce, so I just wanted to be able to Brick Break that. Earthquake to do a little bit more damage to Hisui and Gudra. You know, it's like it's a 4 attack set because it's Assault Vested. There's not really much that I could have done to play with the moveset here. And yeah, Shadow Sneak's just good priority. Our 5th Pokemon is Raikou. This is the Raikou Legacy game. We got Expert Belt item. It hits the entire team. Barcutie fly super effectively, and then obviously if the Sinister Terras, but Volt Switch will hit the Tauros, the Talonflame, while allowing us to reposition, which is nice. Shadow Ball is great for Sinistra and Munkidori. Scald is great for Mudsdale, and then Aura Sphere for Gudra, and that really just covers like the entire team quite well. And Volt Switch over Thunderbolt, because getting that switch initiative is super nice, because while we don't necessarily we don't lose out on anything by running the Thunderbolt damage, and we are able to instead be able to get out of a situation against like Gudra where we won't like 2 KO it or even like 3 KO it if it's Sol vested, even with our super effective Aura Sphere or Munkidori we don't OHKO, and being able to, you know, reposition on those threats is a nice addition for this team. And then our last guy is the Quillfish, maximum physically defensive, just trying to come in on Tauros, flip turn out. We can also pain split, stay healthy, get a toxic off on like anything that might be wanting to set up like Sinister or the Unsparse, and yeah, Spike if for some reason Keegan's not like Giga Boots. I think he's Giga Boots, but you know, I have it on the build just in case. But yeah, this is the team for Keegan. I will see you all in the battle. Peace. Alrighty, and we are due up versus Keegan. He brought the fighting Sinister, which does, you know, makes sense for the Bisharp, makes things a little bit complicated with how I actually do want to sequence things. And we see no Frostlass, which was important-ish. No, I didn't really face much Frostlass. There's one other, oh no, Talonflame, which I did think was a very good Pokemon, but isn't actually here. I am going to lead my Mienshao because that makes things a lot better. Fighting Cha is really annoying because Bisharp was my primary counterplay. I'm going to kind of be scrambling a little bit for how to actually address this. It's probably just going to come down to reallocating what exactly I want to use to check that Cha, and eventually Gyarados will get through. It just means we'll probably be in it for a longer haul. But things might get a little bit dicey around. Probably gonna need to go Raikou a little bit. If it's Calm Mind Cha especially, it gets annoying. I can go Quillfish and Toxic it, but that leaves Tauros a little bit more vulnerable to like beat me. So we're kind of just gonna need to play it by ear. It makes, yeah, Bisharp more expendable to certain Pokemon like Gudra and the Dunsparce. So see what exactly Keegan wants to lead into us. It's a big question. He is deliberating. Hopefully we see like Mudsdale lead, but I'm really fine with anything that isn't Munkidori. All of that is pretty okay with what I've got planned. Belly goal. That is Monkey. Holy fuck, bro. And I was on like a Raikou lead game plan, but I should have just trusted myself, and then I gave too much credit to like lead Mudsdale prioritizing rocks, and he's just gonna U-turn on us. Or maybe Fake Out, but probably just U-turn on us. Choice Scarf. Yeah, he just U-turns. Ideally we don't get Toxic here, but it doesn't really matter. We don't. Hell yeah. Let's see where he wants to go. I'm curious. But LeVar Ball is the Cha. Okay, so it's free. It's out. What are we doing? We're going first to the Raikou, seeing what he's doing, and probably just going to have to Volt out afterwards. If he does throw off a quick Terra, we'll be able to know. But I expect just like a Scald or a Shadow Ball or a Terra Blast fighting. I think those are... maybe Matcha's also a play. We will exert some pressure. He does immediately get off the Terra, which is actually really good for me. Does he want to instantly Terra Blast? Who knows? But, yeah, no. It's pretty good for me that he does instantly Terra. He does just instant Shadow Ball, though, which makes sense. Does a lot of damage. Not like a lot, but like a lot, you know? Do I want to Scald, Volt? What do I want to do? I think I'm just going to Volt. I assume Gudra is probably the safe middle ground for him. And this way I can get in like Mian Chao and start doing stuff. And if he does just attack, we'll see what we want to do. But hard Mudsdale would be a little bit annoying, admittedly. But yeah, we just gotta put Chip on this team a little bit. HOF, is that Goodra or Mudsdale? Goodra, perfect, okay. We'll get our Volt off. Does nothing. Probably not in the range of AV nothing, probably just more in like the normal range of nothing. And I can get into my Mian Chao. Alrighty. I can either close combat or U-turn. I think I just like U-turning here. Yeah, he does just switch, so we'll be able to get ahead in the count a little bit. Probably in the 90s. Is that Muds? Is that... Yeah, that is the Mudsdale. Noting that I, like, could've... maybe close combat into Grass Knot was my better line there, but I kind of had to see what he was planning on. I am going to get Gyarados in. I am going to taunt this thing to prevent rocks. If he's Stone Edge, it can get a little bit annoying, but we still intimed him, so... Yeah, I think I do just want to Terra and taunt. He switches, though. So we do reveal our taunt tech a little bit early. Draymond is the Tauros. Interesting. Interesting that Tauros is your check to Gyarados. Interesting. Don't know what exactly he's trying to call out here. Maybe just trying to be a pivot through Waterfall. But this thing being taunted allows me to move in maybe a different line from where I wanted to. I think I will just go into my Quillfish here, though, regardless. If he doubles out, that's fine. I don't know where exactly he would plan on going, but I assume he's just going to try to, like, Stone Edge me. Trade damage, but maybe he's got, like, a Koba Berry, even. But yeah, Quillfish is a very free flip turn, or Toxic, but I think flip turn is more free. We'll see what exactly he wants to do, but we do switch first, so that probably means that he is staying in. We int him. He does Wild Charge, which is a very good mid-ground, but that still does not do much to our fish. He takes Wild Charge Recoil, and we get our Black Sludge. Any reason to Toxic, any reason to Spike. Knowing what Keegan's probably got in store for us, I don't think Spike is the best thing. No reason to Paint Split yet either. I do think Goodra probably comes in, but that can be good for us, right? We just flip turn. And now knowing what his like counterplay lines are, assuming that he stays versus assuming that he switches, we have a couple of different lines. Assuming that he switches is probably into the Goodra, right? And assuming that he stays, we can just flip into Raikou. But he is deliberating, so maybe he also is considering like the Munkidori angle. All of which I think we have lines for. Yeah, that's Goodra, right? Hall of Fame, yeah. We'll get our flip turn off. Do think it's important to stay ahead. He is gooey, so that's good to know. No reason for him to be Sap Sipper here, but we'll just get Mian Chao. And now we can go for our close combat into Grass Knot line, and hopefully it works. Or maybe we catch him being aggressive. We have all sorts of lines, but I think showing U-turn last time, maybe he'll think about things a little bit differently, but no. He does just switch in the 90s. That's assumingly Mudsdale. Yep. How much is it doing? That's like maximum Fizz Def, it looks like. But it being at 50%. Stamina, no lefties. Unless it's AV. I don't think it's AV, though. I'm going to be able to pick up the kill with Grass Knot. If it's AV, can get a little bit dicey. It does mean, like, we lose our Shao. If he... Also, it would mean, like, he, like, attacks into the Shao. As opposed to, like, being AV and clicking, like, Stone Edge, predicting Gara to come in. So, there's a lot. Not a lot, but there's, like, a few things to consider. But overall, I do feel comfortable making this Grass Knot play. But that's like maximally fizz def. Grass knot. Pops and down goes the muds. Bang. Bang, bang. You know, that tech didn't really work in the mocks, but I just felt it in my heart. So I kind of held on to it. Maybe a little bit too much, but, you know, sometimes you gotta trust your instincts. And certainly it works out here. Now, where does Keegan want to go? Certainly having this Mudstale dead is super nice, because that's also, like, the rocks. How much does this thing matter? Like, realistically, it's our best way through the Dunsparce and through... What's it called? The Dunsparce and... Fuck, what's it called? Goodra. So that's obviously an important Pokemon to hold around. Bisharp, I don't think I can go in... Like, Focus Blast Predict, always a bit scary to make. Maybe later in the game I can consider it, but as of now, there's no need to, even though he's just going to U-turn on me again. Yeah, Bisharp saves me, like, the chances of getting Toxic, but... Yeah, there, it procs. Unfortunate, but... Like, Bisharp also puts me back into a arguably worse position, although I think either of these positions has Chaw coming out, which admittedly is a bit scary. LeVar Ball, yeah, there it is. So, I think... I kind of want to make the Willfish play one time and try to knock this thing with a Toxic or like Pain Split and such. I think that's a pretty decent line, knowing that I feel like the Terra Blast fighting is somewhat likely. He Shadow Balls though. Come on, Quilly. Okay. How fast is he going to be? This is tough. I am just going to Pain Split. Hopefully, we are faster. Or maybe he like, I don't know. I showed my black, so I was just like, he can't Scout Cuss Tap here. But the Pain Split here should play dividends into what he may want to do. Even if it's just get a chunk off on the Chaw. I don't think this is like specs damage, but I think it's just very offensive, Chaw. He does switch. Okay, we're actually kind of raw with it. Into the Goodra. And we get a Pain Split off. This is awesome. He goes down pretty low. And then we'll get our Sludge. And now we can just move with our Flip Turn. Goodra's at like half, which is great. Because that is his Raikou check, now at half. And if he wasn't confident about being faster with the Chaw, then there's no way he's confident about being faster with Goodra. So, I will flip. He's Citrus. Okay, now we know that he's, like, not Chople. If he was Chople, I assume he would have already, like, gone for something like that, but knowing that it's Citrus, perfect, means that now this thing's at however healthy it'll be for the rest of the game. And I can go into my Bisharp here. Yeah, he just Dracos. Is there like a pivot lane to like get in on like body press or something? I am going to go into my Shao because I feel like the body press click is probably somewhat imminent from him. And I think, because I live a Mudstale body press pretty comfortably from max defense Mudstale, so I feel like I live from this thing too. Like, Because I live +1 Mudstale body press. So I should live a body press from this thing. If it's like, I don't know what else it would click. That would be like remotely logical. Earthquake should be weaker than body press. And to me, I think, because I assume this thing, it's probably about comparable. It looks like from like the little quick calc I did. Okay, so first of all, body press comes out, does less than half. Fucking incredible read by yours truly. But now I feel like a U-turn's very free on my end. But the Cha just looks like max offensive, pretty standard business. Yeah, because I don't want Monkey to come in for free, right? Maybe it's okay if it... No. Yeah, I think... Because U-turn can put me ahead on Monkey. It can put me ahead... No, I think I actually do want to close combat so that I can make some other lines available. Because I don't think Hard Monkey's the play. I can't lie. Maybe it is for him, but I struggle to see that being his click. I feel like this is a turn where he might try to get aggressive on me. And he does, and we just close combat him. Down goes the Gudra. That's awesome. That's, like, actually incredible. I feel... Okay. Gooey, we actually just showed our pads. I assume he was Helmet Mudstale, so we already knew that, but... Now, if, like, for some reason he has short-term brain damage, like... It was spelled out for you, so... But yeah, no, we're looking pretty solid here. The Cha, of course, can be scary. We still have Gyarados, so not too worried. Monkey can come out. I think Bisharp's pretty free on that. At this point, just try to trade damage off into things. But we can also try to, like, at this point, our Quillfish is, like, good for a Toxic on something, which is nice. Well, it's also still really good for Tauros, but it's good for a Toxic on something, which is like its main draw here. Yeah. 252 Cha does like a lot to things. Yeah, there's the Monkey. I'll just go into my Bisharp. He's just gonna U-turn, and I just don't care, right? Like, if he does make the raw Focus Blast play here, good on him. But I feel like with it being Scarf, that's a very dangerous play to make. We'll see if my ass ends up on the ground. Okay, he's Psychics. That's the best case scenario because he's Scarf. I'm going to double Gyarados here. I either double Gyarados or I Brick Break. I'm going to double Gyara. I like the lose con for like doubling Gyara is not bad. I don't die. But the upside is I catch Tauros trying to like proc its like, because like potentially if it procs like its own mirror, LeVar Ball. Okay, that's awesome. That's this Cha. Okay. Yeah. No, that's actually perfect. And we get our Gyarados in on the Cha. What I was trying to say is if he like procced his own Mirror Herb on if he procced his own Mirror Herb on the Tauros, intiming my Defiant would be crazy. But no, I just get a free Terra Blast off. We'll see what it is into. Draymond. Assume that's oh wait, Tauros, we already saw this guy. It's a crazy Gyarados pivot. I mean, like, yes, it's Kova Berry, right? But still. Also, like, at this point, Raikou inevitability is, like, getting there. So I just go Quillfish on this guy, and then I can, like, either Pain Split or Flip Turn, really, like, it doesn't really matter to me. I just need to make sure that my Gyara is, like, alive and well to, like, really safely get through Cha. Like, between Taunt and Terra Blast, that's, like, a very, very reliable Sinister answer. And, yeah, the Bisharp is very, like, sackable at this point, but also, like, now, in Keegan's mind, the Munkidori is relegated with no safe clicks, especially the fact that it's Scarf. Like, You got Bisharp immune to the stabs, but will die to Focus Blast, but Dusknoir is immune to the Focus Blast. So now he's like kind of just, I feel like, always going to be U-turning for a while. But like as long as we have our guys in the back, we'll never lose to it, which is awesome. Yeah. Quillfish gets the Intim on there, and the Wild Charge comes out and doesn't even kill on the next one because we're pretty low. And with our Black Sludge especially, we're in a good spot. I don't think we need Spike's Chip on anything, so I will just flip turn. And if I get in Raikou, that's great. Like, because now the Volt Switch, he gave me Mudsdale and he gave me, I forget the thing, Mudsdale and Goodra. So the Raikou inevitability is very much here, and it will hopefully, like, tick. I just need to get it in. And Quillfish is great at facilitating that. If it means I lose it to this Tauros, that's fine. But I won't even lose it, right? Because I'll stay alive, bar the crit, which I don't get crit. I stay alive. And now I flip. And I can get in Raikou, and I can Volt, and I can, you know, be in a good spot. Because the Quillfish baits Toxic on, like, the rest of his team pretty much, which is awesome. Baiting that Toxic out, but, like, I can Volt into Gara here pretty freely, and like that'll hopefully, because the remainder of the team, like Sinister, I want to make sure I can like taunt or kill that thing. Dunsparce, I want to make sure I can taunt or kill that thing, and also get in before I intimate so that I can't like proc rattled. If he does go to Dun, obviously I just go, like, if he hard to Duns here, I have my Mienshao still alive. But, yeah, because he's got this Tauros that, like, at this point, it's just dead weight. And, yeah, we can always bait a Toxic on something with Quillfish. And then the Monkey, obviously, Soul Survivor. We'll be able to deal with it once we, like, aren't, like, once we're in a good enough position, right? Like, so he holds this thing, actually, which is probably just like a lethal. NFL is back. That's the Dunsparce. Awesome. That does, like, nothing. I do just go Mienshao here. Yeah, no reason to go, like, Bisharp. Mienshao is the better play. And then, again, I still have plays into the Monkey. If this thing's, like, Chople, we'll still just do enough where it's fine. Okay, but he does switch. Is it Monkey? No, it's Tauros. We should pick off Tauros from here. If not, ideally, if we get it with, like, if it lives, actually, that would be a best case. But, like, lives within U-turn range. No, it just dies. Oh, well. Yeah, so now Monkey comes in. I'll go Dusknoir, presuming that it's going to U-turn. I still, like, as much as I know he's going to U-turn, Dusknoir, maybe I go, oh, he goes Cha. That's, like, really fine. I'll just go Quillfish as my sacrifice. If it stays alive, I'll Toxic it. But yeah, I just get the U-turn off. And yeah, if he sets up, Quillfish can Toxic. Yeah, so this should be pretty solid. And if he doesn't set up and just attacks, we're in a good enough spot to get. He just Shadow Balls. Quillfish, you did a great job, buddy. Yeah, tremendous job from my guy Quillfish here. Now I can go Gara, and I can dance. Yeah, downside is I, like, risk Macho Burn, but, like, I can just keep dancing, right? Like, I think the Gyarados inevitability is pretty much arrived. Yeah, the Dunsparce comes out. I think I just taunt this thing. Or do I just try to 2KO it? Both plays have merit, right? Like, taunt versus attack. Trying to think of, like, how would I lose this? Right, like, because if I just take too much damage, that's a bad thing. But if I get glared, that's fine. And also, I've revealed Taunt, so probably dissuades him from wanting to actually... Oh, that barely lives. He Boom Bursts. Awesome. That does less than half, actually, which is fantastic for me. I just Terra Blast again. Good thing I did not Taunt. But, you know, this is fine. And I can't sweep because the Monkey Scarf, but that's fine by me. I don't need to be sweeping. I just take the Dunsparce, which is awesome. I assume it's Boots. Maybe Chopple was the bring, but Monkey has to be the revenge. We probably live it, but I don't want to risk that or risk getting Toxic because Sinister is still very real. Yeah. So he just goes Munkidori, and at this point, even if he makes the Focus Blast play, that's fine. I don't need my Bisharp for anything. So, like, even if he makes a play, I don't care. I'm just going to, like, sack it. Between, right, because Tauros is dead, so it's just Monkey and LeVar Ball. So... like, yeah, it's pretty much clean. I just need to make sure to not fumble the very, very final turns of this game. And, yeah, we should be in a pretty clean spot. Keegan taking forever, bro. I'm about to load up Clash Royale. Okay, he actually clicked. I kind of want to drop a Hog Rider at the bridge, but... I think that's 2 BM. He U-turns, okay, he's the GOAT. How did he do that? But no, obviously, like, he has to play for that to some degree. And my next least useful member is the Shao at this point. I don't need it. Yeah. Terra Blast fight presumably is the click, but I just don't need Shao. I can Terra Blast very safely once I get my Gira in, so... yeah. And maybe I live one, which is pretty cool. I don't think so, but... because I'm like minus Spadef, no bulk, pretty much. Terra Blast Fighting comes out. Could have been a Gyarados turn, but who cares? Oh, Mincho actually lives. What a guy. Yeah, I'll just close combat here. No reason to not just take my damage. If he saps and, like, we have to do a song and dance, we'll do a song and dance, Keegan. I don't really care. But, yeah, no, I feel like we're in a good spot. I just need to actually close it. So... like, obviously he doesn't want to just give it to me, but at a certain point, right, like, let's do this. Okay, yeah, we just close combat, do a lot. Our defense drops. Is he going to strength sap? He does sap. Okay, we're really doing this now. I can go Raikou. Like, I can just U-turn into Raikou, and then just, like, start attacking it. Like, we can do this song and dance, like, I don't really care. Like, Raikou will eventually die, and it'll be faster to, you know, die with it chipped, so... like, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just waiting now. I'm just waiting, I sit back, I relax, like... I'm not an autopilot, but... like, at this point, like, might as well just, like, not give a fuck, you know? Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. That U-turn does jack shit. And I just go into my Raikou. I can just start spamming, like, Shadow Ball. Yeah, he just Shadow Balls.
Thank you, Keegan. Yeah, I'll just Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball denies Munkidori entry and puts this thing chipped into probable Terra Blast range. It might just be in Terra Blast range at full health, but depends on the Cha set that he is. He could also be Koba Berry on this thing too, right? Like, but yeah, that does like nothing, but it doesn't matter because he actually takes the kill, and we don't have to sit here just clicking for no reason. Terra Blast comes out. Goodbye, Raikou. You won't be missed. I'll talk about it, like, I guess I can talk about it now. We did make some transactions to this team, because Gardevoir got dropped, so we went Hatterene without that. In some of my later weeks, Quillfish as the bulky water wasn't going to cut it, so I upgraded that to Toxapex. To make everything fit, I kind of, like, had to downgrade Rhyperior and Abomasnow. They're now just Toedscruel together. Downgraded Raikou to Jolteon. And then I also got a nice defensive plug-and-play starter with Porygon 2, which also has some nice matchups down the board. Cool. Monkey comes in. Terra Blast. Almost kills Monkey from full. I'll just go into the Bisharp because it denies Strength Sap the best, and if he locks Focus Blast, that means Gyarados can just win. And it, like, yeah, I'll just sack the Bisharp at this point. I don't care. I could also attack here. I just don't want to risk crit. That'd be kind of annoying, right? Like, if I risked crit and died. But this is in Shadow Sneak range at this point, so I don't need Bisharp for anything anymore. It's now just able to be denial for the thing setting up. I am, like, losing diff points here. I don't really care. Like, I just need my wins more than anything. As opposed to, like, diff points. Like, yes, it'd be nice to maintain them, you know, but what can you do? Keegan currently contemplating how many ways to click U-turn. I think it's going to be Psychic here, or Sludge Wave. But if it's... Oh, he does make the Focus Blast play. Good job, Keegan. I'm just gonna go back into my Gyarados at this point. You're locked into Focus Blast, right? Like, your choice, Scarf. Yeah, that sack is fine. And now Gyara should win, no matter what. Just clicking Terra Blast. But yeah, no. He switches. I will preserve my diff if the, like, yeah, I'll go in. Like, obviously, like I said, I don't care about it, but, like, when it's, like, handed to me and all I have to do is not turn off my brain, I will take it. But yeah. Gyarados doing the Gyarados thing here very well. And then Dusknoir comes in and it'll pick off Monkey with a Shadow Sneak. And we will move to 3-2 back in the win column. For a game that honestly took a bit longer than I think it needed to. But yeah, we were like, there was never like any points where I was like, wow, we're gonna lose this. But there were certainly points where I felt like, oh, we could take this like 5-0 or something. So like it only being a 3-0 speaks to how Keegan was able to navigate this end game. But no, I don't think he was ever like threatening me with like actually making me lose the game. So I just Shadow Sneak and take the win. Good game to Keegan. Yeah, and Dusknoir is staying on the team. That's my GOAT. Low tier spin blocker. So yeah, I touched on all the transactions that we did. We have 1 point left over. We couldn't pick anything up, so yeah, that's the team. Thank you to the drop members for your service. Some of you will be missed, some of you won't, Raikou. But yeah, good to get back in the win column. Peace.